Okay, so this is the first wine of tonight. It's a sparkling wine. It's called Passerina, which is the name of the grape. All the wines are from Marca and Bosco. And this is a very delicious sparkling, citrusy, and a lot of fruit. And is a big alternative to the Prosecco.
And usually, your sparkling wines are going to be a lot more, because of the effervescence, you're going to get a lot more delicate notes, and it's going to be a lot less in your face. So with that, we paired a scallop dish, a ceviche style scallops. We cured them in yuzu, and we served that with a pecorino gougere. So kind of like a creamless cream puff, just the contrast to have some bread on the plate. Put that with a little bit of, with the scallops, a little bit of horn melon, and then finish that off with a dollop of creme fraiche and some caviar.
Another white wine, pecorino. Pecorino is the name of the grape. It's also the name of the cheese, but there is some relation just because pecora is a sheep and pecorino is the cheese from the sheep. So it looks like that the sheep, they love this grape when they were going to the hillside to be finished, and that's why the name. The grape is very unusual because it's rich of flavor, a lot of fruit and virtues like sage, but also a nice and bright acidity. So it's a really good friend for food.
A lot of the flavors are going to be the same, just present a little differently. This one presented more in the style of a Sauvignon Blanc, a lot of those notes. So what we did for the next course, we did a butter poached lobster and asparagus. First we started on the plate with an ambrosia mousse, in the South, in America, there's a thing, ambrosia salad, which is a fruity marshmallow appetizer salad that people bring to barbecues. We basically made a mousse out of that. Put that on the plate, served a goat cheese bechamel sauce on the plate as well to contrast. And then with that, we placed the poached lobster and asparagus, as well as a quinoa tuile. So a little bit of crunchy on the plate as well. Paired with the wine, and when paired as you go through the dish, you get a lot of different variations of a lot of the same flavors that otherwise wouldn't have worked together. Okay, for the third course, we used the pecorino again, whereas the second course we were pairing to the fruit and really focusing on the fruit of the wine. We wanted to, with this course, focus on the brightness of the wine and the crispness of the wine. So instead of something that was very fresh, very fruity, very clean flavors, we went the exact opposite route. We used Szechuan style sauce, a mapo sauce. So if you've had mapo tofu, it's the sauce, it's that style of spicy, but at the same time extremely savory and earthy tones. We used that sauce on the plate. We made a shrimp bao, so a steam bun stuffed with shrimp. And then with that, we put a cacio e pepe gelato. So we had the spiciness in the sauce, we had the flavor of the shrimp, and then we had the coldness of the gelato, which was deceptive because it also had a peppery finish to it. After that, because of the amount of spice and the amount of just weight on everyone's palate, I put an intermezzo of watermelon and lychee fruit. We put that in a sealed container with dry ice to carbonate the fruit, and the effervescence from that, as well as a little bit of watercress, really was welcome. It was needed, and it got us ready for the next wines, the red wines, and the courses that came with those.
Now we start with the red option, and the first is a Montepulciano VOC. Stainless steel tank is a very fruit, cherry, like currant, pleasant wine. It's a kind of wine that you can have as aperitif, or you can pair with food.
For the first of the two pasta courses, we started with a pomegranate gastrique. That was accompanying a braised lamb belly. With the pasta part of the dish, we had a smoked mozzarella cheese pasta, and then we added a watercress salad. Now the second pasta course, we did a little differently. This was a curry butternut squash gnocchi. We did a garam masala Indian curry in the butternut squash to kind of accentuate a lot of earthiness, a lot of fall tones. And then we served that in a gorgonzola cream sauce to kind of mute that a little bit. And then finish that with crispy guanciale. And it was actually caramelized guanciale, so there was a little sweet and salty to just kind of highlight everything.
Brecciarolo, this is really I would say the son of the winery, because it's the very, very first wine that it was produced in 1984 when the winery was established. It's a wonderful blend with Montepulciano and Sangiovese, a perfect wedding with these two grapes, because the Montepulciano has power and the Sangiovese gives elegance. A little bit aged in oak, it's a wonderful wine.
For the sixth course, we did a duck breast to pair with it. Now, we started the plate with a sweet potato fennel hash, and that was cooked with an andouille sausage. We put that on the bottom. On top of that was a creme fraiche panna cotta, so to get a little bit of creaminess to contrast the saltiness, but it's in a panna cotta form, so it didn't melt, it just kind of sat still. Along with that, we had the sliced duck breast, which we did a Chinese 5-spice to accompany the flavors of the spices in the wine as well as the sweet potato. Along with that, we had a cranberry gelatin to just bring some brightness and some fruit flavors forward, along with a smoked pork meat sauce. So with the brecciarolo, we also served the next course, which was a smoked wild boar tenderloin. We smoked that, slow smoked it. We served that with an apple butter, a whipped Latour cheese, which is similar to a brie. We had a roasted Brussels sprouts and truffle honey. And then along with that also a pumpkin pan perdue or French toast. So you had a lot of texture in that plate playing off of each other to kind of build on the previous course and the way it paired with the wine.
On, I would say, the last born in Velenosi, Ninfa. So as you can see, is from the label is very seductive, flattering wine. Is a blend Montepulciano, Syrah, Merlot, and Cabernet Sauvignon. Very silky and velvety wine. Absolutely something that you fell in love with.
So I was able to do some interesting things with this. We started with a whipped gorgonzola cheese topped with an Amarene cherry. We then added a potato puff for texture, crispy potato puff. Then sliced bison ribeye in a bourbon brown butter sauce. And finally we finished with a piece of eggcorn squash that we smoked with a cigar. So to add even more to the dish, made it capable of pairing it with such a big wine.
And the last but not least is the small cube bottle, Viciole. Viciole is a kind of cherries, especially our white cherry, very small and sour, that we put under sugar. We get a syrup that we infuse the wine, and the wine becomes a kind of fortified, and so it's sweet in terms of cherry, but not extremely sweet. It's a dangerous wine.
There were 3 parts to this dessert plate. The first part was a square of chocolate ganache topped with a sour cherry, pairing straightforward to the flavors of the cherries. The second part of the dessert was a chai tea and pumpkin tiramisu, which paired away from the cherry, just kind of letting the cherry stand in juxtaposition to it. And then in the middle we had a salted caramel and cinnamon gelato, which brought everything together, brought the 2 sides of the dessert together as well as the wine.